Happy Wednesday, Patrick. How's it going, buddy?
We're one day closer to being at the racetrack, so I'm doing good. How are you?
Excellent. But I got one up on you. I'm one day closer to being at the racetrack for the second time this year.
Yeah, yeah, again. Yeah, okay.
And I know, rub it in, rub it in. Um, but yeah, we're gonna be racing, uh, testing tune at Twin Falls this weekend, right? You guys are making the trip up to get some things ready to roll. What's your weekend plan?
Yeah, plan is me and wife, couple of kids, we're gonna load up the microphones, grab a broom and a mop, and some Lysol wipes. You know what I mean? And we're just gonna head up a couple hours up the road. Track opens at 10, I believe, for tech. Noon. Cars are gonna be hot on track, and we're just gonna be doing our thing, cleaning like Cinderella, and listening to cars.
Bring a vacuum for the dead flies.
Oh
Remember
man.
that? There's something about an announce booth in wintertime, and then you'll think they're all dead, and you'll move like a keyboard, and there'll be 750 live ones under to scare the shyster out of you.
Yeah, we'll stack them up for sure. It's like I think one of my kids, Tyler, I think he thinks that we're gonna go to just like have fun and hang out, and it's like, no, you're gonna be doing chores all day, brother. So, but it's all good. We're there to do it, and we're gonna be happy to be there. It's gonna be awesome.
That's what happens at the racetrack. We work, and then we have
That's
fun.
that's what we
Um,
we work so we can have fun. Yeah.
yeah, so we'll talk. We'll talk a little bit about what happened at Meridian. I got an opportunity to do some officiating at Black Canyon Raceway. We talked to Andrew earlier this I don't know, winter, spring, whatever the hell it's been. It's just been something. So yeah, we did a little go kart racing on Friday night out at Black Canyon Raceway in Emmett, and then of course season opener at Meridian Speedway. Um, yeah, a pretty good evening. A couple drivers took some licks, and we're going to talk to one of them. And yeah, it's just amazing. There's always a story, whether it's a blown tire or an upside down sprint car, or what we're going to talk to Neal about. Um, and it's good. It's good when the good guys' stories have a happy ending. Sometimes.
Yeah, and at the racetrack things, it's just so crazy, right? Doesn't matter if it's opening day or championship night. One little weird thing can happen and turn somebody's night around, and we're just glad everybody's okay. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, dude, I look like I just like woke up. I really didn't. I look like crap. I have a face
This
for radio, apparently.
this off season has beat the hell out of us.
It has been. It has been. It's racing and it's work and family, and been spending lots of nights with my father in the hospital, and then going to work the next morning, and rolled in here, picked up some dog poop off the living room floor that I was glad to come home to, and turned on the podcast. But that's okay. Dad's home. I'm gonna sleep in my own bed tonight, and we'll see if Saturday can come sooner rather than later.
Yeah, we
Uh,
need to spend as much time at the track as we can now.
yes, sir. So if you're watching, Jaden's watching. He's one of our Speedway fans. Jump on here. You can chat with us or Neal, or questions, comments, or you know, tell us how beautiful we look.
Yeah, we need
I
a little
try
bit
to
of
say,
that.
I say that every week, and so far nobody's agreed. So
Yeah,
someday, Patrick, somebody's gonna be like, "Phew, look at those guys."
we got to hit the gym up there, Iron Fitness. We got to get up
Yep,
there.
Iron Body Fitness. I just got a Taylor Ochpenti just had his first modified race, and I think he realized that there's a lot to do. There's a lot to handle. He just texted me a little bit ago. He's like, "Are you going to Joe's gym tonight?" Like, after the podcast, he's like, "I'm already here." So he's already getting those arms warmed up to go modified racing. We'll talk about that. Um, but first, let's talk to Mr. Latham. Neal's been racing for a long time. We've got some questions for him. Let me bring him on right here. Neal, how you doing, buddy?
Very good, guys. How are you?
Good, good. Long time racer, but I'm just gonna let Patrick ask his first question, because I think this might this this might surround. You got your question ready, Patrick?
Oh yeah, I've been
Yeah,
waiting.
there's really no way to start this off other than this one right here. I'm just gonna give this one to Patrick, and then we're gonna roll with it.
All right.
So quick history. Here's how it happened, right? Brent announced at the track. I texted him afterwards. How'd it go? He said, a little bit of crazy. We'll talk to Neal Latham. Sends me a link to this Facebook post that Mr. Latham posted after the night's events. And one of the phrases caught my eye. And so I wanted to ask about that. Quote, you said that you were stepping on your ding ding in qualifying. And I didn't know if that was racing terms because I didn't grow up in the race world.
That's a
So
race
I
term,
just
right,
want to
Latham?
make sure I understand.
Oh,
Yeah, and
man.
I'm translating correctly. Can you explain to everybody out there what that means?
Basically, that means you have the ability, you have the know-how, you have the knowledge to do something the correct way. What I did was in the incorrect way. Okay, so hence I stepped on my ding ding, and instead of finishing my qualifying lap, I decided to park it in the turn 3 fence.
And that's not
Is this the same place that we saw a crazy crash this lap in the previous season?
in the sprint car.
Yeah.
Yep, same corner, turn 3. Neil and I were just
Yeah.
talking. Turn 3 is
We might have to start having the guys that hit there like autograph the wall just as proof that they survived it, like everybody's going to be okay.
I think after all of our time out there, Neil, I think that'd have to be one hell of a big wall. We've seen a lot over there, haven't we?
It would be the Green Mile. It would be a big old wall. So, and my name would be on there quite a few times.
So what happened? Do you know? Was it a
You know,
mechanical thing or just a racing
No,
thing?
no. It was just me. I went out for the first lap. The car was just tight, and it was sliding the nose, and I knew I had to make some adjustments for the second lap to actually log a good lap, and so I backed up my entry into 1 and 2 a little bit, and doing that, I was able to get to the throttle a lot sooner. The car went a little bit tight, and I knew it was going to be close to hitting the wall, but it was hitting the wall. It wasn't close. It did it. I told myself in my head, like, just keep in the throttle. This is going to be a good lap. And I got up on the backstretch wall just a little bit, but this is where I stepped on my ding ding, as we spoke before. I've been up on that backstretch wall a million times over the course of 30 years racing out there. The wall has not changed. It's moved, but it has not changed. It's been the same backstretch wall. And I did the cardinal sin in this situation, and I got off the throttle and I got on the brakes. And once you do that, you're just along for the ride, you know. And I coach and I preach to everybody, just everything will be fine. Just go into turn 3, go into the corner, you know.
Right.
Lift a little bit, don't touch the brake pedal, and just lift a little bit, roll into turn 3. It'll go there. It's going to point that direction. Trust me. Once it comes off the wall, it's going that way. But instead, I stabbed the brake pedal, and along for the ride I went.
Yeah, and it was a pretty good lick. So obviously, it's just an emotional wreck at that point because you're just getting started. It's been a while since you've been out at the track. Tell us a little bit about coming back into into this ZAMP late model class. I mean, you've taken some time off, some time away from turning circles, and then tell us a little bit about that. And then, man, what a way to start.
Yeah. So, was racing modifieds. I've owned a late model for quite a while now, but been racing modifieds. Kind of decided to take it. I decided to take a year off just to kind of reset and figure out what it was that I wanted to do. While taking that time off, I decided I'm not going to go modified racing anymore. I'm going to go find something else, something different. So, figured my late model's sitting there. Which direction do we go with it? And it's still sitting there because Dylan Caldwell called me and says, Neal, you've done a lot for me over the years. I want you to drive my car this year. I said, okay. I said, this is kind of what I have planned. I just want to run a full season at Meridian, just run the local schedule. I want it to be. I don't want to be all hectic and touring and racing locally and just putting 30 weekends on the schedule.
Right.
So Meridian, it just kind of worked out perfectly. We got a pretty dang good Meridian car, and it was just kind of the path of least resistance to get me back on the track. Dylan and the crew all kind of wanted to see me back out there, and I wanted to be back out there. I missed it, of course.
Yep.
And so, long story short, here we are. We're back, and we still haven't quite decided what to do with my late model, but we got some pretty dang cool ideas that you might be seeing some stuff popping up on the socials here. Next few weeks or months, some cool videos and maybe some cool pictures, and kind of just give you guys a sneak peek of what we got planned with it.
Sweet. Looking forward to it. We're just getting the season rolling. What you got, Patrick?
Hey, I wanted to ask you. So on that post, also, I was just basing my questions off the Facebook post from the race night. You gave a big shout out to your crew. Obviously, a lot of work, not out there first night. What was that thrash like to get the car race? I mean, you get it into the wall in qualifying, and you got to get it race ready like right now. So, like, what was that like?
I also got to give a shout out to Meridian Speedway. They didn't really do this for me, but it just kind of all worked out perfectly. They swapped the schedules. So originally we were going to be running in the modified slot. Instead, we went main event to the end of the night, which really, really helped us. It added, a couple main events extra for us to get everything ready. So, and in the heat race as well. So that kind of helped. But, after I put it in the fence, I'm sitting there and all the safety crew came over, and checked on me and said I was good. And I asked, I don't remember who it was, but I asked one of the guys, I said, hey, are all the tires up on this thing? And he looks, he goes, yeah, all the tires are up. I said, does it look like anything's falling off or going to break? I don't know. So I threw the thing in reverse and I backed her up and I said, well, shoot, it rolled pretty good. And I hollered at Darren. I said, hey, get, because Terry Benson was trying to pick up the barrel. I said, get Terry out of the way. I'm going to drive this thing to the pits. He goes, are you sure? We're going to bring the grade all. I said, if it's going to roll, we're going to drive it. And we're going to see. So as soon as I, went down the front stretch, I kind of shook the wheel back and forth a little bit, scrubbed the tires, made sure everything, I didn't feel any clunking or banging, or I knew sheet metal was dragging on the ground, but it was at that point that I was kind of like, oh, we might be okay. It might not be as bad as we thought it was. So got her in the pits, and the guys quickly went to evaluating. Right away, we noticed that we didn't hurt the frame at all. Didn't even touch the frame. And what it really boiled down to is most of it was, we didn't even knock the toe out. And if we did, we knocked it out right or something. But it was all cosmetic. So the guys had to basically rip everything off the car to straighten it while I ran the heat race. And then when we came back in, it was that simple, man. They tore it all apart after qualifying. I jumped in the car, ran it for the heat race, brought it right back in, and they put it all back together. So we got lucky. It was all cosmetic, but a lot of bent bumpers and body bracings and stuff like that. Obviously broke a fender. We borrowed a license plate from Josh Phanopoulos to rivet the fender back together. And we had a whole brand new roll of white tape, so that's why it looked a little better from a distance,
Yeah, I was gonna say, from my view, I was like, holy crap, Latham just went out and bought himself a brand new late model in the last 2.5 hours.
A lot of people thought we went home and brought another car out, but none of the others are ready yet, so that wasn't an option.
It was either that one or none of them.
Yes.
So if you guys are just joining us, talking to Neal Latham, we're going to chat with him for a few more minutes about O'Reilly's Auto Parts opening night at Meridian Speedway. We do want to thank our sponsors real quick, though. The Raced In Bowling, I know they're on here watching us tonight. Overturf Photography, all the cool souvenirs and all that kind of stuff, courtesy of Jerry. Jerry's working on a special T-shirt that the Idaho Historical Racing Society is going to unveil here in the next few weeks. So we appreciate them. Sense Savvy Performance Graphics for the cool banner behind us. Patrick? I stole your address the other day because I think one of those is going to be arriving somewhere in the great state of Utah someday soon from Mike. So we want to thank our sponsors for that and get a making us look better than we really are. So Neal, after that, I mean, you guys put that thing, the guys put it together, shake it down, and you're getting ready to roll back out there. Heat race, you came out, no fenders, no hood.
Correct.
And then, like and then tell us about that main event after the way your night started.
Oh man. Obviously, the heat race. After the heat race, I knew for the most part everything was good. Car was a little bit tight, but we expected that with nothing on the front of it. So we knew it was important to get everything back on the car, or at least as much of it as back on the car as we could, get a little bit of downforce back. And the car was a lot better in the main event. Got a little bit of the downforce back. Towards the end, I developed a little bit of tight to free off. I can't remember who got out in the lead. Coleman.
Coleman Green.
Yeah, Coleman jumped out to an early lead, and I kind of struggled a little bit getting around Scott Murray on the outside. A little bit of it might have been nerves. I was trying to give Scott plenty of room, trying to leave myself plenty of room. I already tore my stuff up. I didn't want anybody else's stuff torn up. But when I finally broke away from Scott, I started running down Coleman, and he was doing a great job. Coleman was, I'll tell you, for a young racer, and he's picking it up really, really quick. And he was running a good line. Lap traffic helped me get to his bumper a little bit, and I think I had a long talk with Coleman after the main event, and I said, hey, when you see me come up in the mirror, don't ever move over, because I kind of felt like he just saw me in the mirror and just held the bottom, left the top wide open, and just kind of gave it to me. And he'll get better at that. He just kind of said the same thing. I just wanted to give you plenty of room. I didn't want any issues. I said, well, Coleman, it's my job to pass you, not for you to give me a lane just to freely go by, So we'll work on that with Coleman, because I really enjoyed running side by side with him. He's a good kid, ran super clean, respectful. But once we got out in front of Coleman, I kind of just I didn't build a super big lead, but I stretched out just a little bit, and I was just in maintain mode. I just wanted to cruise from that point. And everything was going perfectly to plan until about 6 to go, and caution came out.
Caution.
Yep. And we had a really good cone. We come and take the cone restart, and all the way up until that cone, I was trying to decide, man, I didn't feel very comfortable on the outside, but I've always preferred to be out there. So I chose the bottom, and the minute I chose the bottom, I regretted it instantly. And of course, we take the green flag, and Andrews, he wants to beat me just as bad as I want to beat him. And the race was on. And I felt like we put on a really, really good battle for 2-3 laps, and then Andrew went into 1 and 2 and kind of shoved up the track real far. And I thought, oh, here we go. I'm going to finally break free. And so I got a little froggy on the throttle coming out of 2, and I got her sideways and pointed to the infield, and Andrew caught right back up to me. But through 3 and 4, we broke away again, and just cruised the extra couple laps to the checkers. But that's about as exciting as the main event got, was for me, was with me and Andrew racing for the lead there, coming to the checkers, basically,
Yeah.
And whoever made the first mistake was gonna lose that race, and it was either one of our races to win at that point. And he just sent it into 1 and 2 a little too hard and made the first mistake. And
yeah, and Andrew's going to be. He drove that thing right down to the final few laps last year. That and his street stock, 2 big second place finishes. He's going to be one to reckon with for quite a few seasons, I think.
Yeah, they got that car going around that track pretty good, both of them.
Yeah.
And I got a soft spot for a street stock racing because that's my old street stock, and Jesse James' old street stock. So I always got to watch it.
Yep.
And I'm
Nope.
glad to see him doing well in it.
He's driving the wheels off that
Yes,
thing.
he is. Yeah.
Patrick, I'll let you ask your question about taking care of his crew, Patrick.
Yeah. So, I mean, crew, they did their job under pressure for you. And you kind of mentioned in the post, like, hey, you kind of owe them a night out or maybe some golf. I was just wondering if you guys have sorted that out yet, what it's going to be. And am I invited to dinner or what?
You're invited to both. No, unfortunately, a lot of the guys work out of town. Or just so dang busy. We haven't had a whole lot of talk about it, but whatever they want to do, I'm going to leave it totally up to them, and we're going to go do it. So if they want to go out to dinner, if they want to go golfing and then go to dinner, that's what we're going to do. We just need to find a good free weekend when we're all together and not at the racetrack that we can make it happen.
So it'll go down in October,
November,
huh?
Yeah, we'll have to take a vacation and then not end up at a racetrack there too for it to happen, I guess.
I know that doesn't happen very often either.
Yeah.
Lots of laps, man. You got lots of laps around the racetracks, especially Meridian Speedway. We've been watching you forever. Is Meridian challenging? I mean, for like these guys like Andrew and Coleman, and what are the characteristics as a veteran that Meridian brings out for you?
I'm not going to say that Meridian's challenging. I just, to a new driver, I'm going to say yes. I think it really could be. Just having the wall all the way around and as small and tight as Meridian is, it is, very just intimidating in a way. Not intimidating as, oh, I'm going to go so fast, I'm going to get scared, but as in like, holy smokes, if I make one mistake, a lot of stuff's getting torn up. So that's where I will say that, like, for me, the challenging part of Meridian is I know if I get my car out of shape, there's a possibility I'm wrecking 3 more guys with me, and that's the last thing any of us want to do. So that's probably the biggest challenge for me, or if that to direct it back to my, like, how I feel about it. It's just such a tight racetrack. You mess up, you're destroying somebody else's stuff, and that's the worst,
Right.
So that's the most challenging part for me. I just try to always keep my car pointed in the right direction. And if I know I'm going out of wax, I try to get it to the infield, or if I'm sliding up the racetrack, I try to get it locked down, or if I'm, that's the biggest thing. The more your car is moving, the more, everybody's trying to avoid you. So if you're rolling backwards and you keep rolling, you're going to get hit. You're sliding down the bottom of the track, you're going to get hit. They're going where you're not, and if you end up there when they get there, you're going to get hit. And so that's what I try to focus on and think about.
Exactly.
After that kind of weekend, though, what's different in the prep going into the next race? After having that kind of event happen during race 1.
Yeah.
How's that change of prep for you?
It's almost dang near starting over, right? Had to order a fender, had to order a bumper cover, had to order a new hood pin bar, bumper. We got to tear all that broken stuff off and start all over. We also, anytime I put anything in the fence, I like to look at pull the shocks off, look at shock eyes, make sure we didn't bend anything or damage a shock eye. So it don't blow apart on us on the next race. I'm looking at ball joints, making sure we didn't bend any or anything like that. We're going to replace all that stuff. Just so next weekend we don't want to keep doing it every weekend. We'd like to have a week off where we don't have to fix anything. So that's going to be the goal here in 2 weeks. Or next weekend is we're going to load it in one piece in the trailer. We're not going to fix nothing.
Man, I mean, you got a lot of people that are supporting you, and sponsors and all these people. I know Limitless. You've got a long relationship with those guys, Pit Stop USA. What's it like with Dylan and those guys? How much help is he really giving you? I mean, just 2 years ago, Dylan was the champion of this division, so you have to
Yes,
follow that up, right?
yes, yes. Dylan Dylan's the rock of the team. Honestly, a lot of people think it's the driver. Or we dubbed him Mr. C. We now call him Mr. C because he's a car owner, and that was Dylan's first race as a car owner with somebody else driving, and first win as a car owner with somebody else driving. So all that was pretty cool. But no, me and Dylan, we're like brothers. Dylan's first laps ever around a racetrack was following me in a go-kart at OMC when he got his brand new go-kart. I think he had to have been 5 or 6 years old at the time.
Probably.
So me and Dylan go very, very, very far back. Dylan's a bit younger than me, but I still look up to him in a way, and I think he'd probably say the same about me. We rely on each other to put ourselves and each other in check when we need to be. We bounce, set up ideas, race ideas, racetrack, where we going next ideas, and neither of us really make any decision regarding our racing without talking to each other first. And it's just, that's nice to have that respect back and forth, and it just makes things flow so much easier. I don't get, nobody's getting bombarded with any surprises, so that makes it nice, and it just makes it flow easier. The racetrack, the day at the racetrack's easier when I'm not tearing stuff up, because everybody's on the same page, and everybody knows what they're supposed to do, and when they're supposed to do it and how they're supposed to do it. And I think that's what's going really nice about me and Dylan and our racing. And, there's not going to be very many times that you're going to see me in a car and Dylan in a car at the same time, because we both recognize and know that we're better when we're together.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to continue to do that. There's going to be some weekends that you'll see us at the track together racing, but I don't think it's competing against each other. I think we're better as a team helping each other than we are competing against each other. We could become stronger as a whole that way. So,
yep.
Do you think that the folks that you're partnered with, you sponsors, and that, when they see you get into the wall in qualifying, do you think that they're kind of like, all right, let's see how he handles this, or do you think they're like, oh Lord, what has just happened on night one?
Well, a lot of the people in the stands are going to think, I hope nobody's in Neal's way when he gets into that trailer, because it's going to get ugly. Because I do have a bit of a temper. I do say what's on my mind. I do, I don't hold anything back for the most part. Unless I'm trying to be good. But yeah. I was worried. I knew we had a lot of people in the stands. I didn't know what time they got there. I hope they hadn't gotten there yet, because I was worried that they would think that, oh man, well, let's go home. Neal's not going to run, or well, shoot, we could have done something else this weekend, or So I was glad to see most of everybody that I thought was there or was there come down afterwards and say, holy smokes, how'd you guys do that? And a lot of luck, a lot of hard work, and just knowledge, is the best way I can explain it to them. But yeah, I was worried that we were going to lose some of the people that were there to support me, because there's other things you can do on a Saturday night, and it's nice to have them there and keep them there as long as we can.
So let this be a lesson. It doesn't matter if you see Neal Latham get into the wall. You never know what's going to happen. So stay in that seat.
Absolutely.
Okay, this next this is your question, Patrick.
This is something that I just like to ask everybody, because I'm just like I'm not a very skinny fellow. I like to eat. So what's your go-to? So after a long day, obviously, like, you're at the track all day doing work. You got extra work when you get into the wall. You got extra worries and stuff like that. What's your go-to, like, post-race meal after a day like that?
Shot of Fireball. Yep. A shot of Fireball and a cold beer.
We call that electric soup. Yeah, okay.
I can tell you. I can tell you what I won't do anymore. So all day, Dylan was throwing down tacos and cooking up carne asada and
Ooh,
pork and chicken
Dylan. I need
and
to
my
hang out
wife,
with
yeah, and my wife says, "Honey, you better go grab a taco and get something to eat," you know. And I said, "Ah, no." And this was right before qualifying, so I said, "Yeah, you know, it smells damn good. I'm gonna go get a taco." After the main event, I told them boys, I said, I am never gonna eat tacos before qualifying ever again in my life.
That's
So
it,
that's
Yeah.
the end
right?
of that. So tacos on race day probably aren't gonna go for me no more. I'm probably done with that. So
The new superstition, right?
yep, no more tacos for me on race day.
Yes.
So
Couple more, Neil, then we'll let you get on to your night. So, a lot of people, I mean, especially with this new world of being able to watch the races over and over and streaming and all, the things that when you and I started all this, yeah, 30 years ago, if you can believe that, we
yeah.
didn't have that. Um, do you just kind of, when it's all said and done, you got the win or you got, you had a bad night, do you kind of replay all of it or do you just try to start fresh and get ready for the new week?
Uh, I'm going to replay that race in my head all the way until the next one. Once I get to the next race, well, then that race is going to replay in my head. The good parts, the bad parts, all of it, the whole night, the whole day. I'm gonna think and remember, and what can I do to improve? What can I do to get better? Where was I really struggling, and how do I fix that? And until next weekend, and until I strap in and hit the track for practice next weekend, I'm going to keep thinking that, and when I hit the track, I'm going to try to apply that, and then it's a whole nother process. It starts all over. I'm going to be thinking about everything that happened in next weekend for the next 2 weeks. So there's some big losses I've taken over the years. I uh, one of our big races way back in the day in the Intermountain Outlaw Modifieds was the Fourth of July race, and we were leading that race. I had Dennis Wirtz behind me, which is never fun. He's always very fast. He's always, he can always figure out a way around you. But I felt like we were faster than him, and we had a late caution, just kind of like this last weekend. I think there was like 6, 7, 8 to go, and my car vapor locked. And I've never had a car vapor lock. I had no idea what really happened, but that whole race replays in my head always. I That's one I always remember because that was a race that I had on my bucket list to win. That unfortunately, it's well, and if it ever comes back, maybe we'll get it. But it won't. That bucket list item won't get dropped in the bucket. So
Exactly.
All
Okay,
right, Neil.
Patrick, wrap
Yeah.
him up here. What do you got?
Last one's this: if you were gonna take this last weekend's race, and we're gonna make it into a movie, what's the name of that movie?
stay tuned. No, that's stay tuned. Yeah, that's about all I can think because I think a lot of people thought we were done seeing that happen, and I was a little shocked that we weren't. So stay tuned. You never know what's going to come on next. You never know what's going to happen next.
Right on.
Perfect. I know we've touched on him a little bit, Neil, but who do you want to thank not only for Saturday night, but the 2025 season? You guys just getting this thing rolling. Who's helping out?
Yeah, absolutely. Limitless Pressure Washing. Got to think that's Dylan's new company. If anybody needs any pressure washing services at their home, if they have a fleet of rigs they need washed, give Dylan a call. Outlaw Excavation. That's Jake Altman, street stock racer out there at Meridian Speedway. If you need any dirt work done, holler at Jake. Pit Stop USA, been on board for quite a while. I can go on and on about Pit Stop, but you all know what Pit Stop's around for. Jump on and order your parts.
Yep.
And then Canyon Auto Sales, a good buddy of mine, Rocky. Small little dealership here in Nampa. If you're in the market for a new or used or a used, new to you used vehicle, Rocky's a good guy to get in touch with. He can find it for you, get it for you, or he might have it. So
nice. All right. So you got the main event win. Great way to start out the ZAMP NASCAR late model season. You're going to be back, right? Get that thing fired up
absolutely,
and get back out there.
we're gonna be back. Yeah. I did notice, I seen the points come out, and it's very, very tight up there at the top, and I'm not at the top, and I want to be at the top. So we're going to work hard this through this week and next week, and we'll have a good piece. We'll bring a good piece out, and hopefully we can repeat. That's the goal, at least.
Yeah.
So
Well, Neal, man, I appreciate you coming on. Like I said, we've all been roaming that racetrack since we were little. Don't say 30 years, though. That makes us sound old, but it has been. Definitely part of the racing family. Number one, I'm glad you were okay. Number
absolutely.
two, what a heck of a story. Taking that backwards victory lap with the checkered flag hanging out your window. A fitting end to an opening night for you guys. And hopefully that, who knows, maybe in October you'll be taking a victory lap with a championship banner too.
Oh, man, I sure hope so. That's the goal. That's what we're aiming for.
All right, man. Well, we're going to keep track of you, and we'll touch base later in the year and see how things are going when we get ready for a championship run.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much.
All right,
We'll see you out at the track.
Okay. Good luck,
All right.
bud. Thanks for coming on. All right, Neal Latham. What a night, man. What a night he had. And family, friends, crew. That's what it's all about, Patrick.
Yeah, like you couldn't ask for a more exciting opening night for that crew, right? Just to get out there, things are looking good, and you can tell Neal is that guy, that racer that he's put a lot of laps in at the track, but he's still trying different little things here and there, trying to find every millisecond of speed that he can. He's going to push that machine to its limit. So you're going to get a good show when he's on track.
Yeah, no, great guy, a great group. And he's passionate. He loves it. I mean, he's like I said, he's one of those guys. We all started out there as one of those kids, and he's doing a great job, and looking forward to it. Neal's been through a lot. He does a great job around that track, and maybe this is the year he can pilot that 24 to a title. Andrew Palmer, though, he's going to be chasing him down. That's going to be a hell of a battle to the end this year in the ZAMP Pro late model division. That'll be pretty exciting.
Yep. Andrew Palmer, like you said, you're going to hear that name for years, and you're going to have to bring your A game if he's going to be on the track at the same time.
Yeah, we're going to have to get Andrew back on here in a little bit. He had a good street stock outing this weekend. Like Neal said, he was right there in the late models. So, yeah, it's going to be pretty exciting. I'm going to try this, Patrick. So normally we do our overturf photography rapid race replay. Today, I was sitting there doing my getting it all set up. I was almost to where I had everything all the way up to Neal's victory lap. And then my little fat finger hit the erase button.
Oh, man.
Yeah, So I'm going to see. I'm going to turn the volume down on this, and you and I'll just talk through a couple of minutes of some highlights, just since you weren't out there and some of our fans were. Uh-oh. I'm half prepared. Don't mind me. See if I get that bigger. There we go. So a pretty cool night, though, Patrick. We had our Pepsi Sprint cars. They were on board. J-Mo Stevenson is that car right there in second place. J-Mo took a year off. He's always been one of the good guys there in that division. Take a look at that car right there, the 47. That's like from the 80s.
That's a throwback.
Yeah, Scott Cooper brought that machine out. He won this heat race. It's good to see Scott out there. Samantha Raymond there in the 04. Samantha Achapenti. I called her Raymond all night long, and I don't know. They didn't yell at me. So the 98 car, though, Patrick, that's Kendra Achapenti. Normally the 99. This year, her and Taylor both running the 98 in memory of their grandpa Marv. Marv Weaver ran the 98 for many, many years. So that was pretty cool to see. There's a familiar green car that we were just talking about, Mr. Palmer.
Yep. That's Andrew Palmer, folks. You go to the racetrack, you see that green car, you know Andrew's there.
Yeah, Andrew is going to be he's going to be one to reckon with. There's Latham. on the outside. We just talked to Neal. There he was, minus the nose.
Minus, yeah, you can see that.
A great field of Zamp NASCAR late models, and I hope you guys get that down in twin too. This is going to be a really cool division if we can keep that 10 to 14 car average, especially down there. I know it's an exciting class for you guys to watch and call, right?
Yeah, super exciting. These cars are so loud, and it's just the power in them. It's great. They're fun to watch, and we just want to see the class grow, get more and more cars. Because if you can get 15 of those babies stacked up there in twin, I just love how the seating is at the track. And so you just get all the sound right there. It's great.
Just comes right at you.
Yeah.
Project Filter mini mods down with you. We put a couple of them in with our Project Filter Pro 4s here at Meridian this weekend, or this past weekend. And the mini mods, Eddie Griffith, he kicked some butt. Look at that. He was on a rail all night long.
Eddie's sneaky fast in that. You hear mini mod and you think it's diminutive, right? But it's not. That thing's fast.
Yeah, he brought two of them out. Josh Phanopoulos, Eddie was in this white one. Josh Phanopoulos was piloting his black one right there.
I call it the Batmobile.
Yeah, isn't that a cool looking car though? They had it at the Roadster show this year. That is, I just hope it. I hope it catches on and grows. I'd love to see 10 or 20 of those at Magic Valley and Meridian.
Yeah.
So he did a really good job. I thought that Josh Phanopoulos was driving it. So the whole main event, I talked about Phanopoulos. I get down to Victory Lane, and there's this nice, big, long gray beard hanging out. I'm like, either Josh aged a lot over the winter, or that's Eddie Griffith. And it was Eddie. He got the win. He, another one of those guys. He's been around there forever. I mean, I'm not going to say he's old, but he's older than me, and that's pretty old the way I feel lately. So
he's race experienced, that's for sure.
Yeah, but his favorite sponsor is Bear Beans Coffee Shop in Boise. It's a bikini drive-through coffee shop. He's always trying to get us all to go. I told him, I don't know, maybe tell me if they're hiring. Maybe I'll get a job there. And there's Eddie.
Yeah, if I looked better in a bikini, I might swing by, but I just can't pull it off.
I tell you what, though, if Eddie's wife does not want him going there anymore, if you and I work a shift in a bikini, he will never come back if he pulls up and it's you and I. So
we can get people to give up coffee in a quick hurry.
They're done. Meridian Speedway Midgets, Matt Elliott was really fast but broke. He said he was wiping a bunch of oil off his helmet most of the night, so he didn't make it out. Casey Tillman, right there in the 4, defending Pepsi Sprint Car champion. Casey picked up a main event win. Good to see Casey doing something a little different too there. So
yeah, Casey's one of those cats that can race anything.
Yeah, Casey can run the wheels off it. We're gonna watch this right here. This is our Pepsi Sprint Car main. Then I'm gonna switch videos because we had a Pepsi Sprint Car take a wild ride. Again, glad that he was okay. But a great field of Pepsi Sprints. Riley Rogers, the 00 car, he's back out. He's a former main event winner. It's that beautiful black and orange on the outside. See that car at the back? That's Michaela Trafford, junior Stinger champion. She went from Stingers to Pepsi Sprinters, Patrick, and she is doing a heck of a job the first couple times out.
Yeah, that's great to see. Moving on up, that's fast open wheel racing in those Pepsi Sprints.
Yeah, they can just flat get it done.
Yeah.
I'm going to shut this off. See, that's where my fat finger said, oops.
Said you're done.
And then it raced it. But Mike Anderson in that blue Bender electric machine, he had, the guy, he's one of those drivers, Patrick. He'll go down to Twin. He'll throw a wing on his car. He goes to the Little 500 in Indianapolis. He is a regular at the Open Wheel Showdown. So he was right there trying to chase J-Mo down, but he also had a rear view mirror full of everybody. Carson Ackerland, AJ Lutmer right there in the primer gray. AJ making his
little AJ?
Day. Little AJ right there in the 18 on the high side.
He's probably taller
Can you
than me
believe that? Now that's even going to make you feel old, right?
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
We're getting there. Mike had a really good run going. AJ did too. AJ spun right here. He just bent some stuff up, so that ended his opening night. But Austin and AJ, the whole Lutmer family, what a great group of people, right?
Yep, Lutmer family is one of my favorite families.
They, they're always smiles. They're a big part of what we do. I know down there from your neck of the woods. But then things got a little crazy here in a couple of laps for Mike Anderson, Kate Jackson. Um, you hate to see him tear him up so early in the year like we did Neal.
Yeah.
Like Neal got tore up, but Pepsi sprint cars, we have years where we have 4 or 5, and then we have like 10 or 12, and this is where Mike Anderson went towards the front. But you'll see here in a lap or so, Patrick, that his night took a kind of a drastic turn. Good thing is he walked away. He was battling for the lead right there.
It's one of the good and bad things when you have these cars that are super fast, open wheel racing. Like everything happens so quickly. Lead
Yeah.
changes happen quickly, but also like you could go from good, fun, safe racing to bad news
Right.
in a hurry. So,
And there he goes.
oh,
Mike Anderson takes a wild, and that was a heck of a hit too.
yeah,
We're clear across the racetrack, obviously, and that thing, it was a thud from the booth, and that's where your stomach kind of sinks. Neil Allen fine jewelry safety crew quickly there, and Mike was out of the car before the safety crew got there. But tough break for Mike. You never want to see your car going up like that.
yeah, but he is okay.
Yep, he jumped out, he walked away, and probably guarantee you that he's going to be back out there before we know it. And um, he is a supporter of open wheel racing across the country.
Yeah.
We're just lucky enough that he's okay, and he calls Meridian Speedway home.
Yeah, so if you go to Meridian Speedway in the next few weeks and you see that number 68 car, that blue car, you see Mike there, buy him a taco. The dude's had a season already, so
Yeah,
buy a
yeah.
T-shirt, or if he's got some merch, hook him up.
He's an electrician. If you need some lights wired,
Oh yeah,
call Mike.
have
He'd
him
be
help
more
you
than happy
install a
to help.
new stereo system or something, huh? Surround
Yeah,
sound in your house, something like that. I don't know what he does, but
yeah. He can do something. He helps
yeah.
us around the track with electrical stuff all the time.
Oh, does he?
Everything turns on, nothing catches on fire. He must be good.
Yeah, really
So
good.
you want, he chokes me up. He's so good. If you want me to wire your house, you better have good insurance.
Yeah, I hope you have the fire marshal's phone number.
Yes, exactly. Okay, man. So there we go. Neal Latham, he'll be back out. I appreciate Neal coming on. Um, Longtime friend of mine out there. We're, part of our racing family. It is test and tune. It's finally here, Patrick. You're ready to smell some race fuel.
Dude, it's been on my calendar, and I don't, like I said, like I don't care. We're going to do chores. I don't care. I'm gonna be at the racetrack. You know what I mean? And if I have to break into the concessions, I won't really break in. But if I have to, I will. Because they got Dr. Pepper in there, and just give me some goodies. I'll be okay. I'll work all day, baby. I'll do whatever. I can just spend my Saturday at the racetrack. That's all I care about.
Yeah. So we had test and tune noon. Tech, I think, starts at 10.
Yep.
Track goes hot at noon.
Yep.
So if you guys are interested, if you're in the Twin Falls area, head down there and check that out. And then you go home, and then the next week, you're going to do it all over again. Some more
Yeah.
test and tune.
Yeah, test and tune round 2 next week. So plan is for the 19th, we get everything cleaned up, squared away, dialed in, so that on the 26th, I can tell the babysitter I got to go do more work when we're just going to go hang out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hang on, I just lost you. Meridian Speedway, though, we are going to get. Where did you go? Hold on, we're going to get rolling. Toyota dealers night. So that's something new. Can you still see me, Patrick?
I can see you. Yes.
Okay, that's weird. My Facebook page pulled up in front of me, and I couldn't see you. Another big new sponsor for the racetrack and for one of our drivers, Joe Daly, helping out with Toyota dealers. I mean, this is like the real deal,
That's big time.
So our Toyota dealers night at the races, and then bike races, Patrick. Are you ready for some bike races down there in Twin later on this year too?
Hey, we can do it. Bike races get a little crazy. You get kids on. You think adults are competitive? Get kids on some bikes and let them rip around the track. It gets a little crazy.
So I had a guy ask me this weekend. He said, "What about big wheels? I think now to me a big wheel was like those big plastic big wheel.
Yeah,
Is that what
yeah,
they are?
yeah. 100%. That's what a big wheel is. Yeah, straight out of 1990. Yeah, big
Yeah.
plastic front wheel, two smaller back ones.
I think that's what my dad he bought me one and I would like just haul butt through the driveway and then crank it into the garage and like slide into
Oh
the back
yeah.
door and
Hmm.
I had like a hole in the tire that big.
Yeah,
So
if
yeah,
you weren't power sliding in a big wheel, you didn't grow up.
yeah, I felt so manly. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I should do it again, right? Maybe I should get a big wheel. Um, Toyota dealer night at the races. The mods are back. So night number 2 already for our NASCAR modifieds. We're going truck racing. I get trucks this week, Patrick, and then we're going to send them down to you in May, kick off their year. I'm excited for the trucks again this year. They had a really good show at both of our tracks last year.
Yeah, truck's one of my favorite. I love the close racing, and they're all good, like clean. Nobody's dirty. That's good, clean racing, door to door action, and it'll just keep you on the edge of your seat. That being said, you guys are going to be streaming the race.
Yes, live on speedcast.tv. We're going to have them up there.
I got my account all good to go, so I'm going to be ready. I'm going to be tuning in.
You're set up. Minis, Legends getting ready. Every practice, Colton and I were talking the other night. The 2 test and tunes, the Thursday, the Saturday morning practice. 5 million Legends have hit that racetrack, it feels like, in this preseason. We're going to talk to Jerry. I've got a couple of phone numbers already of some of the guys coming to the big Legends show in August. So we're going to see. Jerry's like, we could have 15 or 20 Legends. So we're going to find out this Saturday what opening night for the Legends looks like. Thunderdogs, Bandos. The kids get an opportunity to take over the track as well. So looking forward to a full schedule again this weekend.
Yeah, dude, I've said it. This is like the year of the legend. And if you're out there watching, you're saying, "What do you mean legend? Like, is this some kind of hero?" Kind of, but not really. It's a type of race car that looks like a legend, like we call it. It's like a legendary kind of car, like back in the day. What? Like, I don't even know how to describe it. They're based on a what?
Like the 30s, 40s chassis or modeled cars. I'm trying
Yeah,
to
like
think.
car out of the 30s, right?
Yeah. I was trying to see if I had a picture on this thing, and there's no picture, but there is the show. So
We'll get
yeah,
some
they're awesome,
pictures,
are
and
they
as
not?
we have some of these guys on, these cars, yeah, they look. It's like a classic roadster looking car from the 30s, and these things rip. And for some reason, there's like this extra hype this year. So there's more people finding legends, buying them, getting into them, fixing them, getting some for other people. Might already have one. Murphy that's got one, and they're working on other ones, right, to try and get other people in them. And I just have this feeling about the Legends class this year that it's going to be something that you want to pay close attention to.
Yeah. So they kick it off this weekend at Meridian. Test and tune at Twin Falls, 2 weekends, and then yeah, it's almost the month of May, man. You know, we're 2 weeks out.
Yeah, and Nat Attack was. I saw she was watching those guys. The waters. So what up, Natalie? And then they're going to be up at practice, I think they said. So it's going to be good time. See, there you go. So going to be fun to see friends up there hang out at the racetrack.
It is time.
As long as you don't, you need to kick that cough or whatever you got going on.
I know it just keeps getting me.
Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, I have
Call the doctor.
I have berry water. Have you ever had this? It's good stuff. People make fun of me, but it's like good stuff, and I can't drink regular water too much. But
I hear you.
I mean, Dr. Pepper has water in it, right?
Yeah, actually, it's one of the main ingredients I've heard. So
it is. It makes it really liquidy.
yeah. So basically healthy.
Yeah. So whatever works. Okay, man. We'll get ready for your family vacations to start. You're just a couple of days away. Hopefully everything gets locked in and hooked up, and you guys are ready to roll on May 3rd. Just so everybody can remind us, I have I have your 4th microphone that was left down there, so I'll bring that on May 3rd. So if you find you only have 3, you didn't. It was here.
Okay,
You're
I'll
not
make sure it's
asking.
accounted for. Yeah.
Yeah. So we've got Dusty and Tyler picked that up when they were down there this winter, and I'll bring it back to you in May. We'll be
No
down there
worries.
opening night to help you out.
It's that good
So-
reason. It's like when you leave something behind when you want to go on a second date with somebody or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So we just leave microphones in each other's cars and stuff, so Brent and I can hang out at the racetrack. That's all.
Yeah. Say if you want it, you got to come and get it, or bring
Yeah.
it to Twin Falls. One of the two.
Yeah.
So, okay, test and tune at Magic Valley Speedway for all of you guys down there in the Twin Falls area. Stop by and see Patrick and the family this weekend. Spanky's going to be down there. The whole deal, man. It's going to be like the good old days already.
Yeah, if you're in Twin, come hang out, and everybody, no matter where you are, make sure this weekend you have a good Easter.
Okay, you guys enjoy the weekend and the holiday. You enjoy Twin Falls. Give me a call if you need anything. We're going to go racing with our Toyota dealers night at the races, and I'm ready to go. I'm going to go to the Iron Body Fitness, work out, and get ready to call it a weekend.
Love it. Have a good time, man.
All right, and there you go. She's going to be there Saturday. Waters Crew's going to be down there. So have fun in Twin. I wished I could be two places at once, but we'll be down there in a couple weeks.
Right on.
All right. So for Neal Latham, Patrick, myself, thanks for hanging out with us on a Wednesday. We'll see you next Wednesday. Maybe Patrick can get some practice videos and some pictures, and we can see what's going on at Twin. And we will see you at the races on Saturday night. Speedcast.tv. Patrick, don't forget to watch us.
See you there.
All right. Good night, everybody.